Hello everyone, my name is Jack Mather and you're watching O.N.E. Today I'm bringing you a new series, the first episode of a new series called PalaeoShowdowns. This is when I basically make a video about six animals in 3 different battles, dueling it out with each other and see which ones would come out on top. I'm going to apologise really quickly for any background noise. There's a bit of a storm going on outside, so it might be a bit windy. So basically how this works is people on my Discord server, which there is a link to in the description, will ask me or give me, 2 creatures that they think would be really cool or interesting to see matched up against each other, and I'll talk about them and who I think would come out on top. So this week we have that Dino Gamer who suggests Carnotaurus versus Ankylosaurus, which I think is a really interesting one. Xavier suggests Tyrannosaurus Rex versus Smilodon, and Edward Drinker Cope, great name, suggests Saurophagonax versus Carnotadontosaurus. So, starting off with Carnotaurus versus Ankylosaurus, I think this one's really interesting because if there were 2 dinosaurs that were on opposite ends of a scale, herbivores and carnivores, and they would be very similar, it would be Carnotaurus and Ankylosaurus. Abelosaurs in general were quite armoured theropod dinosaurs. They tended to have osteoderms running down their back. I mean, look at Rugops, it was covered in the damn things. But Carnotaurus obviously has those infamous huge protruding horns from the side of its skull, from either side of its skull. So, the thing with Carnotaurus though, it wasn't a very big theropod. It wasn't a massive, powerful animal. It was sort of lightly built, it had a light frame. It was designed to be fast and speedy. I really don't think it was a very strong animal. And it's going up against what is basically the equivalent of a walking tank. Ankylosaurus is this massive, huge armored dinosaur, and it's low to the ground. It's impenetrable. I struggle to even imagine a Tyrannosaurus Rex going after an Ankylosaurus. It would be a very, very risky thing. But in saying that, the only reason a T-Rex wouldn't go after an Ankylosaurus is because the Ankylosaurus would break its legs with 1 hit. However, Carnotaurus is fast enough to probably avoid that. Interesting. Now, these 2 animals obviously probably never met in real life. Carnotaurus lived in South America and Ankylosaurus lived in North America in 2 different time periods, I believe. But it's interesting because, look, I think Ankylosaurus is going to win this one. I can imagine a Carnotaurus, it can't use its horns. It didn't use its horns during predation. It didn't use them to kill animals. So it would have to use its teeth, which were very small and quite brittle. Tyrannosaurus Rex would have a much better option against an Ankylosaurus because it's got big, sturdy teeth, conical sort of teeth. Carnotaurus is very serrated, very sharp, little like blades. I think Ankylosaurus would kill a Carnotaurus in a fight. It would destroy it. I mean, 1 hit from that tail, that Carno is destroyed. It's shattered. Ankylosaurus is significantly heavier than a Carnotaurus. The Carnotaurus would not be able to get underneath it, I don't think. Yeah, I think this one's going to go to the Ankylosaurus. I'm pretty sure Ankylosaurus would win this one. It would demolish a Carnotaurus in a fight. So, next up, this one's from Xavier. Tyrannosaurus Rex versus Smilodon. That last one was from that Dino Gamer, by the way. So, Tyrannosaurus Rex versus Smilodon. This is a really cool one because, on a first impression, you would imagine that T-Rex would be able to pretty much win this, no doubt, right? However, Smilodon was a very, very powerful animal and a very precise animal. It was a lot smarter than a T-Rex. It's a lot faster than a T-Rex. This is interesting. I think a Smilodon would probably... It's hard to imagine how it would go about attacking a T-Rex, though. Because as fast and as precise and as smart as a Smilodon is, it's still tiny compared to a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's a tiny little animal. T-Rex was massive. It was bipedal as well, which means you've only got really 1 or 2 locations where you can actually mount Tyrannosaurus from the legs. I think Smilodon would have a lot of trouble getting within range of a Tyrannosaurus because T-Rex, it's like a crane in a way. It can just keep swinging around until it kind of takes down, or it keeps the Smilodon out of its range. Yeah, this is interesting. Look, my gut feeling is that T-Rex would win this fight. The only reason for that is because Smilodon can bite a T-Rex several times, and it's not going to kill it. But if T-Rex bites Smilodon once, it's gone. It's ripped in half. In fact, the Smilodon would probably, there'd be nothing left of it. I think though, if Smilodon can get on the back of the T-Rex, if it can leap up onto it from the ground, I just don't know how it would do that. How would it get onto the back? It would leap up the leg, probably. But would T-Rex just stand there and let that happen? I doubt it. It would keep its eye on the Smilodon and it wouldn't let it get anywhere near its legs. I can't see that happening. I think T-Rex is gonna win this one. But it's an interesting one because they're two totally different animals. Very, very vastly different animals. But they're respectively the most powerful versions of their type, of their kind. So it's an interesting, very interesting suggestion from Xavier there. I want to also quickly say the rules for this. Basically, this is a hypothetical. There can be animals from any time period. There's one of each. So for this example, we have Tyrannosaurus Rex in one end of the arena and Smilodon in the other. There is nothing else in the arena. No natural environment, no trees, no rocks, anything like that. It's a big arena. It's like a stadium, okay, like a football stadium or something. And they're just standing at either end. And you just have to see which one can beat the other one in a one-on-one with, equal environment. I think T-Rex is winning that one. Because, in the wild it would be a different thing, but yeah, T-Rex is winning this fight. But maybe not every time. I don't know, that's interesting. I might come back to that one in another video. The next one is from Edward Drinker Cope. Let's not go having any bone wars in the Discord server, please, because there's someone in there named Othniel Charles Marsh as well. Edward suggests Saurophagonax versus Carnotadontosaurus, which is interesting because they're two relatively similar animals. I mean, Saurophagonax is basically just a gigantic version of an Allosaurus, and Carnotadontosaurus is a relative of Giganotosaurus. It's a carnosaur. It lived in West Africa during the early Cretaceous period. It's a very interesting animal, very interesting suggestion. Look, off the bat, Carnotadontosaurus has the advantages that matter. It's got the size, it's got the power. However, its killing technique is not designed for killing other theropods. Saurophagonax would probably be better at killing theropods than a Carnotadontosaurus would be. But it wouldn't have a very powerful bite force. Carnotadontosaurus has the bite force advantage. Oh, this is interesting. I think Saurophagonax... Saurophagonax would lose. But it would be close. It just isn't big enough. It doesn't have that bite force, that power, that muscle behind it. It's a much lighter built animal. Carnotadontosaurus is a heavy, big predator. And it's tougher, it's stockier, it's heavier. I think Carnotadontosaurus is going to win this one, Edward. I think it's definitely coming out of this one on top. But that's an interesting one because it's difficult to pit two theropod dinosaurs that are relatively similar sizes against each other. And in a way, Saurophagonax was kind of the forerunner to Carnotadontosaurus. It was an earlier carnosaur. That's interesting. That's a really, really good one. So we'll go over the winners. Carnotaurus versus Ankylosaurus, suggested by that Dino Gamer. I think Ankylosaurus wins that one. Tyrannosaurus Rex versus Smilodon. Xavier suggested that one. I think Tyrannosaurus Rex is winning that one. And Edward Drinker Cope suggested Saurophagonax versus Carnotadontosaurus, and I think Carnotadontosaurus is going to win that fight. So, let me know in the comments what you think about this, and if you want to leave suggestions for any future battles, put them in the Discord server. You can come and join that in the description. There's a link down there. Subscribe and like if you want. You don't have to. Although it is, we've been growing pretty steadily recently. So subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.